everyone. As you can see, I am not wearing any makeup right now, and I thought that this would be a good time to do a video that someone asked me to do on my spirituality as a mother, and how do you find time for that, especially when your little ones are in the very little stages, very small stages of development and growth. How do you find time for your spirituality? How do you store all of your spiritual tools? How do you make time for ritual? And that kind of a thing. And I thought this was a really great topic and a really important one for moms, because it's something that's really, really easy to lose touch with and to let go of in our life. And it has drastic effects on us when we lose track of and let go of our true self and our spirituality. And it also has a damaging effect on our children too, because if we're not spending time filling ourselves up and finding happiness ourselves, then oftentimes we're not able to help them to be their true selves and be happy, because all they're seeing is the aspect of the hanged man in martyr mode, where we're just always giving, 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 and so then they feel like they also have to give, 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 or they feel very guilty because all we're doing is giving, to the extent where we're not happy and we're letting other people know that we're unhappy with all of the giving that we're doing. And this has really been, I don't think struggle is the right word, but difficult to create, sorry about that, a balance with this for myself. So just to give you an idea of before I had my child, I'm 29 now. So we chose to have our child, that's the wrong way to put it, because we did have a few miscarriages before Vincent came along. So Spirit and life and the path ended up having us be parents as we were a little bit older than we would have planned originally. And then a lot of people start having children. So I've been following my spiritual path for quite a long time, and I had a very dedicated and focused routine, I guess we'll say, along with my spirituality. So I would meditate every day, try to do half an hour, at least 15 minutes. And I'm a voracious reader and studier. And so I would have time, like in my little space, which I did a lot of my videos in when I was pregnant, where I would be reading and studying and making notes and journaling, for like an hour, several times a week, as often as I could, usually at least 5 days a week. I would be doing that. I did all of my rituals, and I observed my Sabbats and my Esbats and the turning of the moon, the phases of the moon and the turning of the wheel. Every step of the way, I was very conscious of that, and trying to get outside and be in nature and be with the stones and the trees and the fairies and the mer people and all of that great stuff that I talk about a lot in my videos. And walking that path was deeply fulfilling for me for quite a few years. And it was an integral part of my life, like walking that path and focusing on that part of my spirituality. And that combined with my tarot and Reiki clients, all of those things, I was very focused on all of that. So having Vincent was a complete miracle and a beautiful thing, but all of that, kind of that safety net and that focus that I had created in my life disappeared. And so I had to recreate, I had to re-envision, and I had to look at my spirituality in a different way. And I think that's why Vincent chose to come in at this time in my life, because this is part of letting go of the comfort for me, right? So much of the Hierophant, which is my birth card, is about, are you going to do what other people tell you? Are you going to follow the beaten path, or are you going to step off and go your own way? And are you going to choose to believe and do what you want to do? So even though I had left a way of being as a teenager in my younger 20s, that was not spiritually fulfilling for me and that wasn't authentic, I created another net and another focus for myself. And so Vincent's helped me to step out of that into a new space spiritually. So that means that I don't get to spend even a quarter of the amount of time that I did before on my spirituality. I haven't gotten to really sit down and read any spiritual books since he's been born, because I do work, and I also have my clients in my spiritual work, and then I'm also raising Vincent with my husband. So there isn't a lot of time for me now to sit down and read new books and bring in new thoughts and focus on different ideas in the way that I did before. How I am able to do that now is through conversation with other, especially women, but sometimes men who are on their own spiritual paths, and listening to what they're reading and learning and questioning and changing their values on. And so that's been a way that I examine and re-examine and continue to grow spiritually in that way. Now that Vincent's 5 months old, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as actually having some time to be able to read again, and that's making a big difference for me to know that I will be able to read again, because that's been a big change for me and something I've really had to let go of, that comfort of written word. Books are really, really important to me. They always have been. So yeah, it's been through a lot of conversation with other people. And a lot now of my spiritual work happens when I'm preparing to work with one of my clients. Because before I have a session with someone, I always take at least half an hour, preferably an hour, and I meditate, I communicate spiritually with their guides and angels, with my guides and angels. I have personal rituals and things like that I do to prepare for the work together. And so being in that space has really been when I'm doing my ritual now as a mom. Ritual has, for the large part, really, really pared down, and for me. And so it's become a lot about candle work. I work exclusively with beeswax candles now. I'm not using any colored candles anymore. They just don't work for me. Beeswax candles are really, really potent, powerful things, especially if you can find a company that's ethically producing them. And the company that I get mine through is Sunbeam Candles, and they are amazing, and the candle itself is extremely powerful. The scent is just, as soon as I smell beeswax now, like, I associate that with my spiritual path. And so it's an immediate centering and immediate focus for me, which is really, really powerful. So a lot of candle work, because I can do that really quickly and do a ritual working of a spell or something like that in a very small time frame. And it's very powerful because I've got the fire, I have the wax, I've got the bees, I have the animals, the spirits, all of that all right there. And so it can happen very quickly and be really fluid and harmonious, and I don't need to devote an hour, half an hour like I would have before I had my son. Stonework has become extremely essential for my spiritual path with a new baby. So let me say what I mean when I say stonework. I carry them with me constantly. I sleep with stones under my pillows. I carry the stones on my person all throughout the day, and I work with the stone that I'm drawn to work with that day, and then the research might come in. Like, I might go online really quickly and see, okay, what is a given meaning? But I was going first with what my intuition says, and just keeping them on my person, communicating with them that way. That's been really, really powerful and really, really helpful. And attuning and aligning to their energies has been a way that I'm able to work on my spirituality and realize and focus throughout the day that I am being a spiritual person just in walking this path. So that's been really, really important. And a lot of their message for me has been that being a mom is walking a spiritual path. And it's a giving over of yourself in a completely new way to another person's happiness and well-being and joy, and not a giving away that doesn't have any reward, because it's an amazing experience to watch someone grow and be able to support that process. So that's been a lot of what the stones have had to say to me, and a lot of why carrying them on me at all times has been really, really important. Also, another thing, because I have a baby that doesn't like to sleep. He just doesn't need to sleep that much, and he doesn't sleep that much. So I am awake a lot. I rarely get to sleep, as you can tell. I mean, I may be getting a few hours a night, and I'm a person who, before he came, slept 8 or 9 hours regularly, and if I didn't get at least 8, I had an awful day. So I'm really having to re-examine and realign with that spiritually. And the stones have really helped me energize myself when I'm feeling really, really down. And also Reiki has helped me to do that. So really important part of my spiritual path is doing Reiki on myself throughout the day, just by putting my hands on myself where I feel like I need some more energy and I need some work done. And also having Reiki sessions done by another person have been really, really important. During that time, like during an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hour session with a different healer, I'm able to just completely focus on my own healing and where I am on my path, and kind of unraveling stuck energy and things like that with another person holding space for me to do that, and knowing that my son is safe and I don't have to worry about what is he doing during that time. He's being watched by my husband, so I can just focus on that. So getting Reiki sessions by other people done on me has been really, really helpful. And a lot of connection with my guides during that process as well, because I do receive my Reiki sessions from several different women, but especially one, she's an angel facilitator. So I would say I choose to use the word guide instead of angel, but it's the same thing, and so I have the same experience with my guides and gods and goddesses while I'm in that environment, and able to be very safe and protected for that, so I can step into that still space very easily at that time. Meditating for 5 minutes here and there at night, or while Vincent's napping and if I'm at home and not at work, has been really, really helpful. And I say 5 minutes, and I mean literally 5 minutes. So it's usually all that I get, and that's been really helpful. And it's a new way of me re-examining, okay, I don't have to meditate for half an hour or an hour in order to have a spiritual experience and to reap benefits from that and communicate with the other realms in a way that's beneficial for me. Let's see, so brief meditation, Reiki work, working with the stones, and Vincent just woke up from his nap. Working with the cards has been a deep part of my stepping into a new space spiritually as a mother. The cards always follow me, and they always will. I'm stepping into a new space with my readings as far as my clients go, where it's more psychic work than just tarot work. And so it's more of a whole well-rounded experience. You're not just getting a card reading, and I'm really loving that. But the cards walk with me every day, and they're how spirit communicates with me. So that's an integral part of my journey. I'm not able to do large spreads for myself the way that I used to be able to do that before I had Vincent. Instead, it's more about daily draws, and I do a personal daily draw. I do that by myself, and then Vincent usually works with me. We work together and we do the daily draw for my Facebook page. And it's like a really fun thing that we do together, and it's nice to have someone else help you draw cards for a larger group of people than just yourself, and kind of bring some different energy in. So that's a lot of fun for us to do together. And he's at that age where he's loving exploring with his hands. So just that tactile experience of, spread the cards out, and he gets to pick a card and pick them up and see the image and then drop them if he wants to, and all of that is really a fun thing for us to do together. So daily draws are really important. What I like to do for my daily draw is like have my cup of tea or iced tea. That's what it's been over the summer, a nice chai. And set Vincent up in his play area, and then just try to just kind of be with that card and just experience the card, and not get caught up into like a what is this meaning for me today type of thing, like when you get kind of stressed out, like, okay, now I need to be intuitive and I need to focus. I try not to get into that space with my daily draw. I try to just look at the card and just communicate with it in a very gentle way, where it's just me being free and able to do that. And that's been really important. I'm about to run out of time for this, so it's going to be a 2-part video. But let me just kind of wrap this up. So the daily draw in the morning, just a few minutes with my tea, has been really, really helpful. And in the next part of this video, I'll go more into detail about how to get the most out of your daily draw, especially if you're a new mom or you're in a situation where you're this busy and so you're not able to devote the time that you prefer to devote to your spiritual practice. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching.